This isn't about square footage. It's about safety, quality of life, and it's about what to expect for the next chapter of life. When most people hear the word downsizing, they immediately think about selling a bigger house and moving into a smaller one. But when it comes to helping your parents downsize, the house is actually the least complicated part of the whole process. What you're really dealing with are memories, maybe a loss of independence, safety, and sometimes the difficult realization that life is changing. I mean, think about how you feel now at this age when you look in the mirror. Things have definitely changed. I mean, at least they have for me. So imagine how they feel. If you're currently helping your parents start to think about their next chapter, then you already know this. The conversation is about way more than real estate. If you're new here, I'm Meredith Davis with the Wildflower Properties Group, brokered by KSP. I've been an agent here in Houston, Texas for almost 2 decades, and I have helped families transition and navigate this space of life that involves their homes. Just remember, downsizing is never just a real estate transaction. It's definitely an emotional process. And of course, there has to be practical decisions made as well, but sometimes it's an overwhelming process for everyone involved. As adult children, we often think that our role is to help our parents just sell the house. But what we quickly realize is that our role is to help our parents transition into the next phase of life in a way that still feels safe, respectful, and most importantly, empowering to them. And that's where things can get complicated. When families first start talking about downsizing, there are usually three big issues that are kind of looking you in the face, if you will. The first is safety. The home that worked perfectly for your parents 30 years ago or even 10 years ago may not work for them so well today. Two-story homes, steep stairs, big yards, lavish landscapes, those were all once your parents' pride, but they require a lot of maintenance. And like, think about bathrooms. All those bathrooms, if they're not designed for aging bodies, they can quickly become a safety risk. And sometimes the home becomes harder to manage sooner than anybody wants to admit. The second issue is independence. I think a lot of our parents worry that downsizing means that they're going to lose control or give up their independence. But the truth is, the right move can make the actual project easier and protect their independence. Whatever that move means, like maybe it's closer to family or going from a two-story to a one-story, a bigger home to a smaller home. Maybe it's one that requires a little less help. The third issue is the emotional attachment to the home. That house can hold decades of memories. It's where holidays happened. It's where kids ran around and then grew up. It's where life unfolded. So when adult children come in all hot, focused on logistics and selling and packing and moving, then parents may feel they're being rushed and pushed into something that they don't want. And maybe those memories are being rushed as well. And that's why these conversations can sometimes become very emotional. Because again, this really isn't about the house. One of the things I've learned both personally and professionally is that the most successful downsizing situation, they do not start when it comes time to sell the house. The successful ones start with conversations about what life should start to look like, what it will look like next. Asking questions of your parents like, what would make daily life easier? What kind of home would you feel more comfortable in at this point? Maybe do you want less maintenance? What about wanting to be closer to family or friends or doctors? And when families start with those questions instead of what are we going to do with this house, then the entire process becomes much smoother, because then the move isn't something being taken away from your parents. Now it becomes something that they're choosing for themselves, and putting them at the heart of the decision making process. And that shift in perspective, it can make a huge difference. Helping your own parents downsize is one of the life transitions that almost every family will eventually face. If we're lucky, right? Because that means our parents are still around. And when it's handled thoughtfully, it can actually create a safer, easier, and hopefully more enjoyable next chapter of life for your parents. But many families struggle with one big question. How do you know when it's actually time to start the conversation? What will that conversation even look like? In my next video, I'm going to talk about the conversation no one wants to have and why this conversation is so important. So make sure to follow, and I'll see you in the next video.